Jordan St. Cyr, welcome to Spirit 105.3.
Thank you. I'm so grateful to be here.
The first thing we want to ask you about is your little girl. How's she doing, Jordan?
You know, the last 4 months have been amazing. So when she's doing great, she's doing great. And when kind of the seizures come about, it's tough. So it's a week or two in the hospital and a week or two after that of just everything kind of coming back. So what we like to say to people when she goes through these seasons of seizures, it's like a computer shutting down and you just hope and pray that all the programs boot back up.
Yeah.
And so it's stressful being in the hospital, but you know that she's being cared for. It feels even more stressful as we get home and we're on our own and we're trusting that she just comes back to us because you've built this relationship with this little one and you know them now and they know you.
Yes.
And you just pray that we get to keep this version. And so it's tough, but again, we're reminded of where we're called to live, and that's right now. And she is a great reminder of that.
Ooh.
Yeah.
How do you do that? I mean, how do you lean into the right now when that fear rises up?
Honestly, you know, I'll backtrack a little.
Yeah.
Great relationship takes time. And so if you are listening, dig in with Jesus, because I feel, again, I talked about those seeds of faith that were sown years ago, and now they're holding us up. It's that relationship that is built forever, knowing that Jesus has got us. Even though I cannot understand the why or the how, I do know the who. And he's present with us. And so we lean on that. And I know that doesn't give people an answer, and it feels like I'm copping out of like knowing the answer. But when a person kind of fills that space and this person also proclaims to be God, it's enough. And I don't know any other way, how to describe that, but it is enough.
Wow. Everything's a mic drop, Steve.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely. So, Jordan, with school coming back soon,
Yeah.
do you have? We're gathering little pep talks for the kids going back to school. So if you're on the bus, a bus full of kids,
Yeah.
and they're all looking at you and they're looking at you for some encouragement, what would you say?
The kids going back to school. Oh my goodness.
you're on the bus. You're at the very front.
Am I a peer? Am I a kid, or am I the kind of the teacher, or am I,
Well, you're you.
I get to be me? Okay.
The awesome Spirit 105.3 artist that wears, you got to see him, Steve. He's got this guitar backpack. It's awesome.
Okay, I can definitely be me and
Okay.
and say this. I would just say be kind with one another. As kids, we can be very cruel, but we also have this ability to be very kind.
Yes.
So I would encourage those that if you see somebody struggling, just go up and say, hey, are you okay? If you see somebody that looks like they're alone, just go over and sit with them, and that will make their day.
That's a big deal, isn't it?
It's a big deal.
Okay, so with your new song, I wrote this down. You said this on Instagram. I don't know how this is going to turn out, but I do know the truth of who you are.
Yeah.
And we touched on that a little bit, but I wanted to ask you specifically, Jordan, who is God to you? Who is Jesus to you?
Jesus is the one who carries the weight of the how.
Woo!
My mom always, poured into my life and into my heart saying, you don't have to know how this is going to happen. You just have to, show up with a dream.
Woo.
And,
Yeah.
and God will walk that out if it is of his will. Like, God will grant you the desires of your heart, but he's going to refine that dream because it has to come from him. And so he is the bearer of the weight of right and wrong.
Oof.
We love to preach what's right and wrong, but he holds that crown. Thank goodness he does. And yeah, so for the things we want in our life, how are we going to do this? How are we going to get that? How are we going to become more like Jesus? He just wants our yeses, and so he will make the way.
Got to write that down. He just wants our yeses. Go ahead, Steve.
Absolutely. So, what are you? Thanksgiving is coming up, both yours and ours.
That's right. That's right.
By the way, those are clearly Canadians
Look
for
at
you.
that. I love those. I haven't had those in years.
They're very 80s.
Yes.
Okay.
What are you thankful for this year?
You know what? It is the same thing every year. It really is. The gift of having an amazing wife, the gift of having our 4 kids. And I know that sounds so cliche.
No.
But it's given me so much, like if you need a reason for life, it's typically the people around you.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so whether you're married or not, whether you have kids or not, it's the relationships around you. And so with my wife, the relationship I have on this earth is the deepest with her. And my kids are little, I say this all the time, they're little grounding rods. It's like, if you want to remain normal and not a diva in this music industry, just be a good and present father, and they will teach you the ways of what you were created for, which is this moment, right? Dad, I want this now. Dad, can we do this now?
Yes.
Say yes to them.
Yeah.
It's not always easy, but I try and talk about them at shows, in the meet and greet line, just because we're not together. But if I can keep them in the forefront of my memory and in my thoughts, I'll do my best not to take them for granted,
Yeah.
And so they're what I'm most grateful for. Yeah.
Did you see the movie Yes Day with Jennifer Garner?
Our kids ask us every day, Dad, when's the yes day? Dad, when's... I'm like, that's a
So
big
that
commitment.
movie causes problems, is what you're saying.
That's right. But we're not an extreme no family.
That's
so
good.
There you go.
There is a Yes Day 2 in the making, just FYI.
Is there really?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so tell your kids.
Yeah. We'll do a yes day. We can go see this movie.
So Jordan, is this your first time to the Seattle area?
It is. I've only flown through.
Oh, so what do you think so far?
I mean, I love it.
It's gorgeous.
Growing up, my favorite baseball team was the Seattle Mariners.
Oh.
So I don't know why.
Yeah.
But it just was. Ken Griffey Jr. Was my guy.
Are you following them this year?
I'm not. No,
Okay, well,
no.
I'm just telling you, I love what they said on Instagram.
Okay.
Bring out the brooms. They just swept the Angels.
Did they really?
Completely, the whole series.
Oh, well, now I got to dig in and...
It started out really badly, and then they've just gone on a tear, and they look like they could be in the playoffs.
No way.
It's big. You
I
should
love that.
pick it up again.
I love that because we're an underdog city in Winnipeg.
Okay.
Our hockey team, the Winnipeg Jets, we are known for, 16th place kind of thing. So,
Oh, wow.
So to kind of support the underdog and the comeback, I love that.
Stick with the M's.
Yeah, there you go.
9/11
Yeah.
is coming up, and
Yeah.
Steve brought up such a good point. You were probably really young when that happened, and you're also Canadian.
Yeah.
So when it happens every year, the anniversary comes
Yeah.
up, what happens in your heart? What do you think about?
So I remember exactly where I was when it happened. And I was working for an electrician. I was just out of school. Wow. And I was working for an electrician to save up enough money to go to YWAM. And so I went to YWAM, and one of the opportunities to do our mission trip was in New York City. And so I got to serve at Ground Zero, and we worked in food services. We worked from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. And then, so we did that shift. And then we also worked at the morgue area. And so the morgue was basically a parking lot full of refrigerated semis. And it was like, we were told when we went there, hey, we don't speak. You guys are there to literally fill a plate, and that's it. And I think learning that at that age, sometimes that's all that's necessary to show Christ's love to people as they walk through the hardest season of their life.
How did you sense the presence of God in those moments?
It was just so, you would see these, on the street corner, right, with people, hey, have you seen my so-and-so? Have you seen my brother? Have you seen them? And you see all these flowers. So this huge memorial. And there was just this quiet, it wasn't dark, but it was very human, it's just hard to explain it, but it was very thick, that something was going on here that was so much greater than we could see.
Wow.
And yeah.
Unbelievable opportunity you had.
So I think of the people I served with. We set up prayer stations in the corners of New York City once or twice a week. And I just think of the interactions that we had with people and the team I got to serve with.
Okay.
Wow.
Jordan St. Cyr, we're so glad you're singing and coming to visit us. Come back. We'll have a Mariners hat for you.
I would love that. Come on.
We love you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.